Everybody, this is Artisan Loom here, and today I'm going to show you something different. It's not Rainbow Loom, but it is a tutorial on how to make my homemade creamy caramel candy just in time for Christmas. So I just wanted to do something different and share some of my candies that I make over the Christmas season to hand out to my neighbors and friends and co-workers of my husband's. So I just thought it would be kind of neat to share it with you all, since you guys are my close friends. Anyhow, I'm going to come back on after I've gathered all of my ingredients, and I will show you what you will need and how you are to make it. It's super simple. Don't be afraid. And then we'll get started. So, these are the list of ingredients that you will need to complete this recipe. You'll need a measuring cup, a 1 cup measuring cup. You will need a teaspoon measuring spoon. You will need a candy thermometer, okay, because you've got to know where the medium ball stage is. So I've got it marked on here, but you will need one of these. You are going to need light brown sugar. You're going to need Karo syrup, light brown or light Karo syrup, Eagle brand milk, which is sweetened condensed milk, and pure vanilla extract. Those are the ingredients. You'll also need a pan. This is it's not a 8x8, I believe it's a 9x9 pan. Okay, and obviously a saucepan to cook the caramels in. And I put here a napkin and some butter because I'm going to butter the pan. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Grab my plate of butter and my napkin, and I'm going to, I guess just sit here. I don't have a good place to put this tripod. Boy, I've got to get my act together if I'm going to try to show you guys. But basically, let me see if I can turn this light off. Okay, so I've got the butter and the napkin, and I'm just going to put some on. I'm going to smear it on there, and I'm just going to smear it in the pan, okay, all over, because I want it not to stick to the bottom of the pan, okay. Obviously that would not be cool. I'm going to get some more and just finish coating it on all sides, in the corners, all the way up, okay. And just make sure it's greased nice. Okay, I've got one more side to do. Obviously, make sure you have clean hands too. Okay, so now I've got it all buttered on all sides. Okay, so I'm going to just set that there for a second. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 sticks of butter that we have here, and we're going to unwrap them. And we're going to just put them into the pan, just like so. Okay, and you'll do it with both of them. Just like that. Okay. Then, what you're going to do is you are going to melt this butter over low heat. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my stove to low heat. Now I realize, don't yell at me, I'm one of those that uses the big burner for a small pan. That's just what I do. I don't know. That's how I roll. Anyhow, and plus I think because I have a stove that has a burner and then a small burner, it's over here underneath these ingredients. Actually, I'm going to turn it down because I put it on medium-high, which it needs to be on low. I would say between low and medium because I want this butter to melt. But the small burner, there's a big burner and then a small burner that would fit this pan, but I don't feel like it heats up as well as just one big one. For whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Okay, so we have our butter inside, and now we're just going to let that melt. Now that my sugar is melted for the most part, It's still trying to melt off those little chunks. I'm going to come over here, and I need my brown sugar is in this container. I need 3 cups of packed brown sugar, okay? And so I'm just going to measure out, and when I pack it, I push it down, okay? Obviously, that's what you do. I need 3 cups. So I'm going to show you the first one, and I'm going to get the other 2, okay? So here's the first cup of packed brown sugar right here. And I'm going to just add that to add it to the pot, okay? There we go. Packed brown sugar. I need 3 of these, okay? 3 cups. So go ahead and put 3 cups into your pot. 3 cups in here. So I'm just going to stir it up with the butter, okay? That's not all we're going to add. We're just adding these and getting it just incorporated a bit. Okay? Now, what next thing we're going to need is a can of the Eagle brand milk, which is right here. So open up your can. Okay. And I'm going to just pour it in there. Ooh, doesn't that look good? I love it. Love it, love it. Now, I can't get my, trying to get all of it, and I'm getting stuck. Ooh! Probably not the brightest thing, but I'm still going to go for it. There we go. I want to get all of it out of there as much as I can with the spatula. It's probably as good as I'm going to get. Okay, so I'm going to stir that just a little bit, just to incorporate it. And then the next thing that I'm going to need is corn syrup. Okay, I need a cup of corn syrup. Okay, so this is the Eagle brand, or the Karo syrup, light corn syrup, and I need a cup of it. So I'm going to grab me another cup. Actually, yeah, this is a cup. And what I'm going to do is, there's a trick to it, because when you put syrup into a cup, it's going to stick. So what I do is I take just your Pam spray or whatever cooking spray that you have, and I will spray the cup like that, okay? And then, gosh, I'm trying to find a way that you can see this. Put your corn syrup in there, just like this. Need a full cup worth. Okay, just like so. And then basically what you do is just pour it in. And so if you can see what I'm talking about here, as I'm pouring it in, see how it's not really sticking? Parts of it are, but it just needs to come to the edge so that we can get the last drops. Okay, now look at that. There's hardly anything left in there. It's all got into the bowl. So anyhow, that's how you do that. Okay, forgive me. This is my first tutorial. So I've got to figure out how to work this tripod to where I get the best possible view. So all basically I'm going to be doing, and I may switch over to where you can see it better over here. Yeah, look at that. You can see it better. Hey, don't be hating. I know everybody here wants a butcher block countertop just like this. Isn't that just fantabulous? No. Just teasing on that one. But anyhow, we're just going to stir this up really well and get it all incorporated really, 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 really well. Okay? See that? And basically you're just going to stir this constantly, which I'm not going to do it constantly, but I'm going to let it get hot enough. And then what I'm going to do is put, because it's going to start boiling, but we want to keep our temperature on like a low or a medium low. Okay, so you're just going to keep stirring until that reaches a medium ball stage. So when you take this, okay, there's a softball stage, and I went, and then there's, let me see if I can get this thing to focus. Okay, so there's a softball stage, hardball stage, and so this is 220, that's 240, and that little dot that I put on there in black Sharpie is around 245. We want to get it to where this red comes all the way up to there. You don't want to wait till it goes higher, because then you're getting in the hardball stage. We're trying to make chewy, creamy caramels, not hard like Werther's original caramels. We want to make soft ones that are chewy like the Kraft ones. So anyhow, that's where we're trying to meet. So when it reaches that point, that's when we take it off of the burner. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're just gonna stir it every so often, because you don't want it to burn. But if you have your burner on low to medium, because I think it would take forever if you had it completely on low to try to get to that point. But you don't want to rush it either, because it won't turn out right. So about medium low. Okay, so you're just going to do that, and then you're going to take your candy thermometer right here, and I'm just going to stick it just like this. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it sit there. Okay, and then I'm going to keep stirring, and when it reaches that little, to where that little dot is, that's when I know it's ready. But you need to stir it constantly, or at least every couple minutes, so that it doesn't burn on the bottom. Okay, so meet me back here once I get it to that stage. And once we get it to that stage, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add your teaspoon of vanilla. While it's hot, while it's on the burner, you want to add the teaspoon, or you take it off of the burner, add the vanilla, which is a teaspoon, and stir it really, really good. And at that point, that's when we're going to pour it into our prepared buttered 9x9 baking pan. Okay, so meet me back here. I'll show you what this is going to look like as it starts to boil and as the thing starts to rise to get where we need to be. Okay, so see, as you can see, it's starting to boil a bit. So I'm going to try to hold this candy thermometer. Boy, I'm really effective at this, aren't I? You gotta just continue to stir. Let me put this on my tripod. As you can see, it's starting to boil. Can you hear it? Okay, I'm gonna continue stirring. I'm lifting up the candy thermometer just to get a good stir going, because you don't want us to have it boiling and it sit in one spot, because then it will burn, obviously. You should know that. So the red dot is right, it's not going to show, let's see, it's at like 185 right now, so it's got to get to that little white dot right above the softball stage. So that's what we've got to do. Boy, I'm jerking this camera around. Oh my goodness. Isn't that lovely? Your first tutorial and you're already making mistakes. Well, there's no mistakes. It's just, it's not very cleanly, streamlined, whatever. So anyhow, this is what you should be doing, is just constantly stirring it. So I'm going to go off camera and have it get to that spot that we need, the medium stage, 245 on the candy thermometer, and then I'll be back. You see how much it's boiling and getting that nice caramely color to it? You see where the little red part is? Real close. I probably need 3 more degrees to get to, or whatever that is, to get to that small dot right above the softball stage. So that's what you're attempting to do. I am almost there. Look at that beautiful caramely color. Sorry for my arm getting in the way, but that's pretty darn cool. Almost done. And then what you're going to do is literally, you're wanting to stir this non-stop, really, but try to keep the thermometer down in there so that we make sure we get the exact degree. Literally, we're right at the, well, I don't know if you can see where we're, I'm kind of at an angle, so it's showing that it's not there, but we're right there. See that? Where that little dot is? It's hard for me to show you. But it's time to take this off the burner. I'm going to turn my stove off. I'm going to move this over off of the, look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to try to get most of this off. Good as I can get it. Look at that. Oh my God. Don't touch it. It's a million degrees. So you do not want to touch that. So what I did was I got this little plate that I had my butter on, where I used it to set down the caramel. Okay. So now I'm going to stir this up really good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get I'm going to get my vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract, and a teaspoon, and I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in, okay? And then just stir it in. See that? Isn't that awesome? You want to stir it really, really good. Get it all incorporated. Okay, nice and thick. Yummy. So get it all really, 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 really good. Really, really, really good. Cracks me up because I watch American Idol. I watched it when Jennifer Lopez was on as one of the judges, and she would always, every time she would critique someone, she'd go, "It's really, 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 really good. You did a really, 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 really good job." So notice that next season, on the final season, if she's the judge, notice she always uses really, really, really. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we are going to get our pan out. Let me move my tripod over here. Okay, and I'm just going to, it's already greased. Let me see if I can get a better angle at this. Okay. I'm just going to pour it in just like that. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Good gracious. I just want to lap it up right now, but I can't because I would burn my tongue super bad. Okay, just get as much of it out as you can because there's going to be some in there. And when it cools, my finger's going in to lap all that up. Okay, so go ahead and do that.
Do that.
My son being silly, he makes fun of me when I do tutorials and whatnot, and so he came in and was like making fun of me like a silly guy that he is. Look at that. So when this is done, I'm going to eat all that off of there. Actually, you could take a spoon and scoop it off, but I'm not going to. So this is what you are left with, this yummy, yummy caramel. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Okay, So it's extremely hot, and now the pan is extremely hot. So I'm going to put it on a cookie sheet or one of these cooling racks. I'm going to have to get me a nice little, what do you call it, pot holders, because knowing me, I'll burn myself to death. And what I'm going to do is just pick it up and put it on that and let that sit. Okay? Now it's got to sit at room temperature until it is totally cool. So you just want to not disturb it, just leave it there just like this. And when I get done, when it gets done cooling, then I'll show you what I'm going to do once it gets done cooling. But just leave it sit there until it gets completely at room temperature. And then I'll be back. So now that I've let this sit here for, gosh, 24 hours, you don't have to wait 24 hours. I just didn't have time to cut them, but just till it comes to total room temperature. And so I'm going to take the aluminum foil off, and look at that pan of yumminess right there. Okay, so you're going to need a knife. Probably one that has a very thin, it's very thin. And what you're going to do is, I'll show you from this side. Let me see if I can get my camera right. Is you're just going to, well, it actually looks like it's not sticking, so I may be all right. I was thinking we would have to go through and cut it off the sides, but let me see if it will just come out on its own. Let's try to flip this thing over and just press down on the center and see if it pops out. Oh! It's not happening. It's not happening, people. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is just go through the edge and just loosen it off the sides. I already see it lifting. So we'll do it on this side too. Actually, parts of it. Yeah, see? If you're careful, you can do it without really denting it all up. See that? Okay, so I think I'm ready. Okay. This time I'm going to flip it over. Come on. There we go. Sorry about the loud noise and crashy bangy sound. Okay, so look at that. I got it to pop out. So now what we got to do is I'm just going to use my knife and I'm going to scoop it underneath here and flip it over real quick. See how it's already trying to, see how soft it is? Yay. Okay, that's that. So basically it's done. Now we've got to cut it. Now, when I say cut it, you want to just cut it into little squares because it's pretty thick. I mean, it's pretty a good inch thick. Okay, so you don't want it to be real big. Let me grab that. Okay, so about right there. So we're just going to slice it just like this. Okay, it's not hard. These are soft, but I just putting a little pressure trying to do a sawing motion to try to get it across. And I'm going to go just like this. One more good one. Now you see how it pulled away? That's what we're looking for. Now, if this so much as touches that, it's going to stick to it. So you want to make sure, I'm just going to do one section at a time, okay? So I'm going to scoot this section over a little bit, just like so. And then let me see how I can do this without touching the caramels too much, because I don't want my finger points on them. Okay, so I think you can see what I got going on now. Okay, and actually I think I'm going to use a piece of wax paper, that way I don't get, see, I've got some wax paper. I think that's what I'm going to do, is use a piece of it, excuse me, to hold it. That way I don't get my own fingerprints on it. Okay, but basically you're just going to do like little squares like this. Okay. Now don't let them touch, because they will stick right back to each other. I've learned that in the past. And just, you know, I think these might even be a little big, but See, and I gotta be careful not to have them touch. So I do one section at a time, and actually they might be slightly big. I could probably even go with half that size, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be generous with my caramel. See, it's stuck together. Okay, finish these up. At least get 2 more out of the bunch. Okay, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so now we've got all of our caramels. I'm just going to twist this here, and I'll show you how to wrap them up. You can finish cutting all of your caramels. You can finish cutting all of your caramels if you would like. But I'm just going to do one section at a time. That way I don't have a ton of these things laying around and then they accidentally touch each other and then they're stuck back together. Okay. So, we get your wax paper. And I'm just going to take about that big, about that wide, okay? Cut it off. And I'm going to get my scissors, my trusty scissors. And you can put a caramel on here and figure out the sizing, but I'm just going to wing it and just make a little square, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my caramel, just like so, and I'm going to place it on here, okay? Actually, I'm going to turn it upside down. That's what I want, because I want where I fold in the paper to be on the back. So I'm going to go in like this and wrap it like a present. So I'm going to go like that, like that. Then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to press this part in, press this side in, press this side in, and then fold this to the back so that it's looking like that, okay? Fold it in, oops, fold it in, fold it in, fold it in, and then, so there it looks like that, okay? There's your wrapped caramel, okay? So that's what I'm going to do with all of these. Now, what you could do is you could have made a template for that caramel, which I guess we could. We could set it right there and just have an idea of how big we need to make each sheet. And this is probably still a little too big. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, sorry about that, I got cut off. But you can make a template. This may be a little bit big, but I think it's okay, just so long as this part doesn't overlap the edge and make it look unclean. But I think what I'm going to do is I think I can trim just a hair more off, because if I do that, then you'll see what I'm talking about. I've got a good template going, and it doesn't have to be completely straight, but I'm going to try to make it. It won't matter because it's going to get tucked under. But you can just take this as your template and just kind of, you know, use that as a guide and just cut up a whole bunch of these. That way you can just start wrapping away. So I'm going to save that as my template, and I'll show you one more. Okay, I'm going to take our caramel and we're going to flip it upside down. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap it this way, and it'll stick because the bottom is sticky. That's why you use wax paper. You bring this side up. Okay, I hold it here, flip it over, and actually this is a little long. I could actually make this a lot thinner, so I might do that. I might do it. You can cut a little bit out of it, see? However you want to do it. You flip it in, this side, and then just flip it down. Now you have that one side. Flip it down, center, center, and all the way under. And now you have your wrapped caramel. Isn't that lovely? So now we have 2 wrapped caramels, and then you can just store it in an airtight container. And then you can make some sort of gift wrap to put on top of these, which is what I'm going to try to do to make them look more festive, because you can put them in a little candy dish and each one is individually wrapped with a nice decoration on it, and it would look so pretty. Let me see if I can take like a corner piece and show you with my fingers, that is, just how creamy caramel it is. See, it's nice and stringy and ooh, yummy. Look at that. Yummy goodness. Right there. Oh. That's some good stuff right there. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you decide to make. Let me stop chewing. Oh. I hope you decide to make some because they're super yummy and your friends will absolutely love them. And let's see. Yeah. I imagine you can make caramel apples with them too, because they taste even better than the craft caramels. But anyhow, this is what it is. Just be sure to make sure when you're cooking it at 245 degrees so that you don't cook it to the hardball stage, which is what I did on my first batch. This is my second round. I used a better candy thermometer, and look at what I got. Fantabulous. Okay, so enjoy, have a Merry Christmas, and watch for my next tutorial. I think I'm going to try to do some Buckeyes and also some Snicker fudge. So, okay, until next time, bye.